Step 3 of Simping Recovery states, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. This step is an important part of the recovery process for individuals struggling with addiction, and it can also be applied to relationships. In the context of relationships, Step 3 encourages individuals to make the decision of turning their will and their lives over to a higher power, which can be understood as God, a higher power, or a community of support, such as a 12-step group. Step 3 of Simping Recovery can be particularly difficult for individuals who have been in control of their relationships or have had difficulty trusting others. This is because the step requires individuals to let go of their own control and to trust in something greater than themselves. For those who have been in control of their relationships, letting go of control can be a difficult and uncomfortable process. They may be used to being in charge and making decisions, and the idea of turning their will and lives over to a higher power can be daunting. Additionally, for those who have had difficulty trusting others, the idea of trusting a higher power can be challenging. They may have been hurt or betrayed in the past, and the idea of placing their trust in something or someone else can be unsettling. They may be skeptical of the idea of a higher power and may question whether it is even possible to trust something that they cannot see or touch. Furthermore, for those who have been in control of their relationships, they may have had difficulty trusting others because they believe that no one can take care of them as well as they can. They may have difficulty delegating responsibilities and may feel uncomfortable relying on others for support. This mindset can make it challenging for them to turn their will and their lives over to a higher power, as they may not feel comfortable relying on something or someone else for guidance and support. In spite of these difficulties, it's important to remember that Step 3 is a process and it does not require immediate perfection. It's a willingness to take a step towards a different direction. It's also important to keep in mind that the step is not about giving up control or trusting blindly. It's about recognizing the limitations of self-will and seeking guidance and support from a higher power to assist in the process of recovery. Codependency refers to a type of relationship in which one person enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. In a codependent relationship, the codependent person may feel responsible for the other person's behavior and well-being, and may put the other person's needs before their own. In order to overcome codependency and establish healthy relationships, individuals in recovery must learn to trust in themselves and others and to set healthy boundaries. Letting go of the need to control others or to be controlled is also an important aspect of Step 3. This can be difficult for people in recovery, as addiction and other issues often stem from a need to control one's environment and emotions. Learning to respect the boundaries of others and setting yours is crucial for achieving and maintaining healthy relationships and for becoming self-sufficient and independent. This step requires trusting in the process and making a decision to follow the guidance of a higher power, whatever that may be, to overcome the harmful patterns and reach the road of healing. Step 3 also relates to the idea of humility. By humbly admitting that they are powerless over their addiction, individuals can begin to let go of their ego and their need to be in control. This can be a crucial step in the process of healing relationships, as humility allows individuals to admit mistakes and to seek forgiveness. This step can be important for rebuilding trust in relationships and for learning to forgive and to be forgiven. Letting go of the ego and the need to be in control is a central aspect of many personal growth and self-improvement practices. The ego is the part of the self that is concerned with one's own image and identity. It is often driven by the need for validation, power, and control. When individuals let go of their ego and their need to be in control, they can begin to see things from a different perspective and become more open to different ways of thinking and being. They become more accepting of themselves and others and less reactive to the judgments, opinions, and expectations of others. In the context of recovery, letting go of the ego and the need to be in control can help individuals to let go of the past behaviors, patterns, and habits that led to their addiction or other issue. It allows them to acknowledge their own powerlessness and look for guidance and support to find a new purpose and values to live by. It can also help them to let go of the negative self-talk and judgments that they may have been holding onto and replace it with self-compassion and self-acceptance. This can be a difficult process, as the ego can be deeply ingrained in one's sense of self, but with time and practice, it can be done. Finding a support group, therapy, or working with a therapist can be useful to work on this. In addition, Step 3 helps individuals to understand that they are not alone in their struggles. By turning their will and their lives over to a higher power, they can find the support they need to overcome their addiction and to build healthier relationships. They can also find a community of support that can help them to heal and to grow. In conclusion, Step 3 of simping recovery is an important step in the recovery process for individuals struggling with simping, and it can also be applied to relationships. This step encourages individuals to make a decision to turn their will and their lives over to a higher power, which can provide them with the strength and guidance they need to overcome simping and make positive changes in their relationships. It also relates to the idea of humility, letting go of control, and the understanding of not being alone in the struggles. This step can be crucial for rebuilding trust, healing, and growing.